folks, and welcome to their Saturday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt, going solo here as Benjamin is still out. There was an idea that jokingly CJ said about top 5 karaoke songs. I said, that's a good idea. That's what we're going to do today. That's what I'm going to do today. And here's the deal. I thought about this after I thought about, because I do karaoke. Whenever karaoke, the opportunity is there, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll do it. But I noticed it's always going to be the same song or the same band and usually the same 2 songs. So my top 2, locked. The rest of them, well, one of them I used to sing a lot, so I made that number 3. And then the other ones have only been once I've sung them. So I am basically a one-note wonder. I only like to sing my band, this band I love. And by the way, Weezer is not on this list. I love Weezer, one of my favorite bands. But my karaoke band is something different. And I don't know if I know when the last time I deviated from the karaoke script, unless the mood presented itself. And usually you're just seeing karaoke nights at bars and stuff like crazy parties and stuff like that, which that music always fits. There was one situation the music didn't fit, and it got me in a smidge bit of trouble. I'll tell that story again in case you missed. I believe we talked about this on Prince of the Universe before, because Wes was there during that. But anyway, karaoke, I'm never shy. I'm not the best singer, but I don't care. It's fun. I remember the first time I did it, I was super nervous. And I did sing one. I sang Love Shack with someone. And I was so nervous, but she really wanted to do it. And she was going away to California to make it big. And as you know, this is, well, I'm already hitting around the bush here. This is my friend who married French Stewart eventually. So, and she and French are great. And I talk to them every blue moon. But she was the first one, if I recall, that got me out there to do it, because we're the same age. And she was going to strike off on her own, and I thought that was daring and dumb. But, I mean, she's carved out her little place in L.A., so good for her, and done decent amount for herself. So she's a fun lady, and was the first one that I can remember, like real karaoke that I did. And from there on, I said, you know what, it doesn't matter. And she was just showing me that every other person was bombing, and it was fine. You can do this. I was like, yeah, you're right. Why? It's about having fun. So I haven't done karaoke, though, in quite some time. I'm trying to think of the last time I did it, and I think I remember it was at, and if I'm wrong about this, I'm going to get crucified here, but I think the last time I did karaoke. No, well, it wasn't karaoke. We played rock band, and I was the singer trying to hit the notes. So that doesn't count as karaoke. Real karaoke would have been Bennigan's. I was at Bennigan's. It was karaoke night, and I grabbed the mic, and I went all around the restaurant. It was a wireless mic, and I was everywhere. I was at everyone's table, belting out my number one. So that was probably the last time, and that was before the misses, so 16, 17 years ago. I mean, it's been a while. Not that I wouldn't jump back in it, just, don't go to many places. I'm not going to go to a bar. Get out of here. I'm not going to do anything fun where there's karaoke. No one does a karaoke machine anymore for fun. Funsies. So I can't remember the last time I saw a karaoke machine or people doing karaoke. Because if they were, I'd do it. But anyway, I had to list these in a certain order here. And from the one I've only sung, Love Shack, I guess honorable mention. I don't know that's because she was going to go up there and sing with me. Other than that, though, if to my knowledge, I've been racking my brain of karaoke moments, like true karaoke machine moments. And number 5, I only sung once. It was a wedding reception. They did karaoke. This was kind of neat, He said, instead of just playing the regular music, we want you to serenade us as everyone dances. So it was kind of slower music, dance music, fun music, but it was kind of a way to get everyone involved, right? And then they could say something to the bride and groom afterwards. It was neat. It was different. I've been to a couple of weddings that have had unique ideas. Some of my favorites. Well, I like the karaoke one. One of them true enough, they played a game with their audience, and then played a game with the bride and groom, and then had a game for the audience, which I thought was neat. Someone else made carrot cake for their wedding cake, and that was the first time I realized you didn't have to have the regular plain Jane tasting wedding cake. Back in the day, there used to be a fad. They did do candy tables, and someone had an enormous, the biggest clear glass vase full of gumballs, and they were all like the little pearl-looking gumballs. I thought they were just decorations. She went, "You can have them." I said, "What do you mean?" She went, "Those aren't big fake pearls. Those are gumballs." I went, "What?" And so I took a lot and embarrassed my wife because I was stuffing my pockets full, and everyone was laughing at me. She was so embarrassed. And then the mother-in-law found out that my wife got upset about me stuffing the gumballs in my pants pockets. I was so excited. So she came by the house and gave me 2 huge Ziploc bags of gumballs. And I will tell you this, my wife ate half of those gumballs. After complaining about it, she ate half of them. Another cool feature, someone had an ice cream bar. Ice cream buffet is what they did. They had food too, but the dessert was just an ice cream buffet. That was amazing. I guess maybe food is the real thing that gets me these things. Really like that. The best wedding cake was the Nakatomi Tower, and no one knew what it was. The kid was half my age too. I said, "How do you?" He said, "I love that movie." I was like, "Oh man, no one at the wedding." He said, "You're the first person." He said, "My groomsmen don't even know. They don't even get the joke." He said, I won't tell anyone. He said, unless they get it right. He said, "You're the first person to get it right." I said, because I asked him, I said, "Is that the Nakatomi Tower?" And he went, "Yes, you're the first." He said he wanted a toothpick of Hans Gruber, like a Hans Gruber falling off the building, like held in place by a toothpick in the cake. And his wife thought that probably was a little too much. So he just kept the tower. But I laughed. I thought that was great. The other cool cake my friend Kirk had, it was a Nintendo cake with the old Super NES, and that was the first time I saw a cake that didn't look like a regular cake. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks just like an NES, but it was a cake. Now, Cake Wars or Cake Boss or whatever, they had a whole show over that, but that was just amazing stuff. Anyway, off topic there, but I got time since it's just me. This was karaoke, and so I got up there, and because I can't sing my regular band. I might could have, but I said, okay, we'll do something else. And my dad had us listen to James Taylor, so you can close your eyes by James Taylor. It's not one of his most popular songs, but it's one of his best songs in my opinion. And I just loved it. And I was like, you know what? Everyone's doing instrumental stuff like that, so I was like, I'm gonna do something like that. And that was the one that just came to me. It's a little sad, you can sing this song when I'm gone. It's kind of sad, but it's nice, soft. It went with the theme of the night, the wedding theme of the night. I sang it, really loved it. Thought, man, I should sing this more at karaoke time. But when karaoke comes, no, man, I revert back to my top 2 in anything of that band, which you'll find out when I get to number 2. All right, so number 3. This is the only one I'm gonna cheat on because I can't just name one song. But I will set up. I used to travel a lot for work, and one of the places I was at when I was very early into work, they sent me out to Dallas. I was in Dallas. They would fly me out on a Sunday night, and then I would hop a plane Friday night and come back home. I commuted by plane for like 3 months straight. I was on and off that plane. Monday through Friday, I was in the office. I even had my own office in Dallas, next to the site leads, I will say, because he was trying to butter me up to stay. He really thought in his head that I'm going to stay with them. He thought he could win me over. That's why he gave me the office next to his. This guy was super nice, Mr. Frank. He was, a basketball player, I guess. He was like 7 feet tall, super deep voice, and really nice guy. I really had a great time with him. We laughed a lot, we talked a lot, but he was convinced there was only one man he wanted to stay with his department, and who wasn't already there, and that was me. And he was convinced that I would see it that way, but I was not going to do it. I appreciated it, but it wasn't for me. It was a good group out there, but Dallas is, there's lots to do in Dallas, but I hate that traffic more than anything else. I've never been to LA. I've never been to New York. Never been to Chicago, but I have been to Atlanta and I have been to Houston. I would rather be driving in Atlanta or in Houston and Phoenix and Columbus and, well, Albany wasn't New York, but any of the big cities I've been to, Orlando, whatever, nothing compares to Dallas. Everything's under construction. Everything is under construction. So it's got your regular traffic like every big city does, but add in that half the exits are closed, half the roads are closed. It just makes it 10 times worse. I think they own the monopoly on orange cones and orange barrels there. I truly believe. In fact, every time I go into Dallas, I try to travel I try to get there as early as I can, way before 3 o'clock. Or if I can't make it in then, I will purposely wait and try to get in around 9 or 10 when traffic's dead. I'll be super late. I'll never come anywhere near rush hour. It's just miserable enough to drive in Dallas. But anyway, so I was there. I was staying at the Holiday Inn. I had to fight with my company to stay at the Holiday Inn because they are not a customer of ours. So they wanted me to stay in hotels that were customers of ours. And I had to sign a waiver of why I was staying in this Holiday Inn every week. And I told them it was for convenience because it was closer to the place. And there wasn't a place closer, which was kind of true because Ramada Inn, was it Ramada Inn? Yeah, Ramada Inn. Yeah, well, no, it wasn't Ramada Inn. What's that place called? I don't know. The other hotel, which was more expensive, I will say, was right next to it, but technically farther away from the site by about, one building over. So I just wanted to stay in the Holiday Inn. I just love the Holiday Inn. I love the smell of it. The people really cool. I got to know them because I was there every week. It was like a regular guest, just had a different room. After a while, they did ask me, they said, hey, do you want us to just book you I said, book me the same room, please do. And but they were super nice to me, and I convinced all of my coworkers to stay at the Holiday Inn, and they changed because the other place, I want to say it was Ramada or whatever, but they were really bad. Their Wi-Fi was spotty. I don't know why. Holiday Inns was solid. Everything costs more, and they said, well, we could save money. I said, yeah, you should sign the little waiver they make you sign, and just tell them it was closer to the building, and that's why you did it for convenience or whatever the excuse was. That'll work. And so they all switched over to the Holiday Inn with me because they didn't like their rooms at the Ramada Inn. They didn't like the service. They kept complaining about everything. I was like, dude, things are great at the Holiday Inn. You need to come to the Holiday Inn. And so I got them all to come to the Holiday Inn with me. But one thing was I shared a special secret. On Thursday nights was the best night. It was the last night before I went home, which was always nice. But it was like a party night because for some unknown reason, I never knew why, a bunch of old people would dress up to the nines. I'm talking suits, ties, sequin dresses, and they've got to be 60, 70 years old. Honestly, they were all old, all retired. They'd all come to the Holiday Inn restaurant, order steak and lobster. I mean, surf and turf. They went all out. They weren't asking for no burger. They got steaks, baby. And then they'd crank up the karaoke machine, and they'd all sing your favorite, crooner songs. Your Rudy Valley, your Dean Martin, the Rat Pack songs and stuff like that. I mean, and they would sing good, and everyone would slow dance. And it was, I remember I ate at the hotel, because I hate eating at hotels, but I kind of liked their food there. And I was shocked on Thursday night when it was packed. And they did get me a table, but all the main tables were just packed. I was like, what is going on tonight? They said, well, they're always here every night. And I was like, what? And I never missed a Thursday. I never ate at that restaurant until Thursday night because I wanted to see this. I mean, it was just amazing. They'd sit there, dance, have a great time. You'd think it was a ritzy hotel, a ritzy restaurant you were in at the time. If I just transported you in there, you would have no idea you were sitting in a hotel restaurant because it just looks so, everyone dressed up, made it look super fancy. So I decided karaoke because I did some dancing. One old lady said, come on, young man, you going to dance? I said, absolutely. I danced with her, danced with people. I said, I want to sing. So they said, sure. Well, I think singing anything past the 70s was against the rules. But, and I sad to say, I think I sung some 80s songs, but Barry Manilow was my go-to. I felt like, and James Taylor would have been good too, but I felt like Barry Manilow was the one. I think because that's the first name I saw that I noticed. I was like, I'll do Barry. And my mom was a big Barry Manilow fan, so I did all the hits, just about a lot of the hits from. I know I did Mandy. I Can't Smile Without You. I write the songs. I mean, there's lots of things. And I would sing. They would dance a little bit. They liked it. It was good. It wasn't their crooners, but it was in their wheelhouse. And I remember the old man would come, pretty good. You need a little bit more work on those high notes, but pretty good. I mean, they were grading me on it. Like, they were all really good, so I guess they could grade me on it. But my whole team loved that. Well, then, my last month there, I had to switch to nights, and I was so upset because when it was time for me to go, because I had nothing to do in the daytime, and it was time for me to go in at night, everyone would be coming in, and they'd be all the chase people would change. We started wearing ties, or the girls would dress up, and because you wanted to fit in. I started bringing a suit and tie for Thursday night. And so they did too. I mean, all the girls dressed up really nice. And so they were going to change, get ready, and I had to go into work. And they were just so excited about Thursday night. And I was bummed. I was missing it. And true to form, just last year, I was training an online class. Someone from that Arlington site, which is now closed, actually said, I remember you. I had you for new hire years. He said, probably over a decade ago. I said, really? He said, yeah, you were complaining. And he said the names of people I was complaining about because they were rubbing it in my face. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't know one of the other guys had gone. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess they were in my party going. He said, yeah, and you were upset because you were missing karaoke night. And I went, yeah, it was a Thursday. So he even remembers that. But Barry Manilow, I sang the whole set or sang about, 5 or 6 songs from Barry. I don't know, maybe I should have looked him up and seen. What songs did you sing, Matt? I don't know. I can't recall. But I know it was a bunch of his big hits is what I sang. So, and that was uber fun for me to do. I really enjoyed it, and those people are all dead now. I don't know. Maybe they still do it. Maybe they got more people involved or something. Hopefully they did. But either way, the Barry Manilow one, that would be my number 4. That's the only time I'm going to name an artist. I'm going to name songs. Unless it gets to number 1, then basically anything goes there. But the number 3, Barry Manilow's best. The best of Barry Manilow, let's say that. All right, so number 3 is one that I sang for a very long time. It was my second song. I'd sing one of my top 2 songs first, or maybe I sang these 2 songs first, and then I'd always sing Fuel, Bad Day. I jumped on the Fuel wagon for the first 2 albums like everyone else did. I left just like everyone else did for the first 2 albums. I would probably listen to those again. I think I listened to the first album not too long ago, last year once. That was back in the day, BMG Music, 12 CDs for the price of one. And you'd order all the hits you thought, and some of the CDs you liked, some of them you just threw away. But I remember Fuel I really enjoyed. But when they came out with Bad Day, that must have been on their second album. Man, something about that song, just got me. I still love that song. Haven't heard in a while, but I just loved that song when it came out. Had a bad day again. Oh, man, so nice. And I would croon out that one. That would probably be my 3rd song of the night, and then I'd go back to my number 1 band. But I definitely sang Bad Day several times over and over again. I just thought it was so awesome. The last time I sang it, I remember I was out with a group from work. I traveled to Albany. It was my first time, besides Dallas, to travel anywhere else but Dallas. And it was a bunch of underwriters. And we had gone out, and those guys were partying. I mean, they stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning, and they were there early, 8 o'clock in the morning. They didn't miss. They were there immediately on time for people who just partied all night. And I'd go to bed at 12. I was the weenie. But they'd stay till the bar closed, 2:30, walk home, because we walked to the bar, and they'd go home. But I'd come in, sing a few. But I remember I sang "Bad Day." I think I sang one a night. I sang one from every band. One different song from my favorite band, and then I'd sing "Bad Day" on one of those nights. But it wasn't really a bad day. It wasn't. I just loved the song. So sad song. Had a bad day again. But that was one I remember. That was one of my go-to number 3 songs probably I'd sing. All right, so the big reveal. What is the number one? What is the number one band? Well, I'm going to pick the top 2 songs. I'm sure I've sang some other ones of theirs, but I know for a fact that these are my top 2 because these are the only ones that I started singing way back in the day. Still sing them today. Guns N' Roses. I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan. So Guns N' Roses music, there are 2 songs. They're so close. So close. But one of them, and I'll say this at number 2 because I'm pretty sure the other one is the number 1. Both from 87, both from Appetite. I sing a lot of Appetite of Destruction. But Welcome to the Jungle, number 2. Number 2. Sang a lot of Welcome to the Jungle. Loved Welcome to the Jungle. Rocked out to, I just feel it's karaoke. You go all out. And GFNR is my go-to. Like right now, there's karaoke. I am singing Sweet Child of Mine or Welcome to the Jungle. Probably Sweet Child of Mine, which is my number 1. Spoilers. It's okay, because once I said the band, you could probably guess what the other one was. But those are my top 2, easily. And usually in karaoke, you only do 1 or 2 and you're done. So I never go outside the role. Now, usually I have been known to sing other ones from Guns N' Roses. I didn't want to make this all Guns N' Roses, but I've sang Paradise City, Knocking on Heaven's Door, November Rain, which you don't do because it has that long interlude and you just sit there. So I only did that once. Don't You Cry Tonight. Love it. You Could Be Mine is great. Probably not the best karaoke. I think I've only sang that one once. I can't remember. And Civil War, I think I did that one once. But that's my brother's favorite one. I think that's it. There's a ton of other ones that are good. But Welcome to the Jungle and Sweet Child of Mine, the big ones. And then You Could Be Mine and Knocking on Heaven's Door, I think I've done. And Paradise City, I've done. But, I just dip through anything that is Guns N' Roses, and that's what I'm going to sing, no doubt about it. And just GNR, mine. So the last song I ever sung was Sweet Child of Mine. That's why I made it number 1. Because I literally would go back and forth between Welcome to the Jungle and Sweet Child of Mine. But the last song I sang was Sweet Child of Mine. And I did that, and I lit up that Bennigan's. In fact, I remember for like a year later, there was people come up to me and say, I remember you from the Bennigan's karaoke night. You did Sweet Child of Mine, because I got up on tables. I can't believe the staff let me do it, but I got on a table. It was empty. It was cleared. Wasn't being too rambunctious, but I was just all over the place. I jumped off the table, got down on my knees, and was rocking. That's back. I could never do that now. But I'd go all out, making a full. This is back before the internet. Well, the internet was around, but back before YouTube. You could film something. You had to have an actual video camera to record me, which no one brought. So not everyone's phone was a video camera back then. So, got away with a lot of things. Good thing social media wasn't a thing back in my day. Goodness gracious, I think all the kids from the 80s would be canceled, as they say these days. So, yeah, glad it wasn't me getting recorded back then. Of course, I recorded a bunch of stupid things by myself, too. Anyway, though, those are my karaoke ones. Those are my karaoke songs. If I had to sing something else, I'd probably sing more James Taylor now. I listened to a lot of his stuff. I've actually listened to his whole discography recently, as of this podcast. And there's one song that I always wanted them to have on the karaoke machine. They don't, and this one is called Harvest Moon by Bedlam. Bedlam, not what's his face, Neil Diamond, not Neil Diamond. Harvest Moon by Bedlam. And it's an amazing song. I heard it on the Reservoir Dogs soundtrack, and I was blown. It's just got an acoustic guitar guy just singing, and it's so good. In fact, a lot of times washing dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, I change up my song all the time. A lot of times it's James Taylor, it's John Denver, Elton John. Wow, it's John Denver, it's James Taylor, and Bedlam is somewhere in there too. Harvest Moon. It is so wonderful. I love something about that. I've just the first time I heard it, it struck a chord with me, and for years I could not remember who sang it. And whenever you look it up, it looks like it's Neil Diamond. I said, no, that wasn't it. I said the chorus was Harvest Moon, but I can't remember. And then finally, I remembered I heard it from the Reservoir Dogs soundtrack, and finally found it off that one. And so that is just a phenomenal song. And I think we've done like songs that you should probably listen to, and I think that may have been one of mine. Maybe I can do top. I should rank my Weezer albums maybe next time. That would be boring, right? I don't know. I can't. There's very few bands that have their entire discography on. Like common bands. Like Family Force 5 didn't have that many releases. But who else? Weezer I have, complete one. And what is their name? Newfound Glory. I have all their stuff. But other than that, I can't. Any of the other stuff I couldn't. Metallica. I have a few that I like. I didn't listen to all their stuff. In fact, I don't like their early stuff, which a lot of true, what elitists love, the true fans love the early stuff. But that is what I'd sing. I'd never try to sing a Metallica. Well, Hero of the Day. I'd probably sing that one. You're off to find a hero of the day. I doubt YouTube's going to copy strike me from the way I just butchered that one. But that was probably one I'd sing. I don't know. The thing is, when you look at a karaoke book, there's a million different bands and songs to pick from. Like, they have it listed by song, which I like, and then have it listed again by artist, which again I like. But the whole time you're thinking, how's that song go again? Or what's that song that, and I don't know. It seems a little overwhelming. So I think I just go to Guns N' Roses, leave it at that, and then leave. Oh, my Guns N' Roses story, which I've told with Wesley. I believe we said this one not too long ago, but we were at Chelsea's Street Pub, and I was with Wes, another friend of ours named Casey, and they were all singing country music. It was karaoke night, but it was all country, and I hate country. So, of course, I get up, and I sang probably Welcome to the Jungle or Sweet Child of Mine. It was definitely one of those. And after it was over, I screamed into the mic, "Country sucks!" and put up the mic. And they never let me back up again. I tried to get back up to sing my other Guns N' Roses song, but they wouldn't let me go back up. And a all too tipsy Casey, wearing a fluffy little cheetah furry cowboy hat he got from some girl, grabbed it, and Casey was a big dude, probably still is a big dude, grabbed that DJ and goes, "You let Cuckoo sing his song!" And of course we promptly got escorted out. That was really funny. I think Casey used to be a bodyguard for other clubs. But Wes was quite buff in the stuff too back then. Still in good shape, muscle wise. Good looking sack of man, that Wesley. You saw that on the video of 400. But anyway, so yeah, that was me being mischievous on karaoke night. So I just don't do it anymore. I don't know. I'm sure there's some little bar or something that does it. And I'm also sure that I'm never going to go to it because I just don't do that anymore. Karaoke with friends would be fine. In public, I'm fine with too, but I just don't think I'd ever go to any of those places. And since I don't drink, why would I just go for the karaoke? I don't know. I'm just saying out loud. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. What are your favorite karaoke songs? First off, do you karaoke? Or maybe you don't. And that's fine either way. Also, if you do, what songs? You don't have to give me a top 5. Just give me your number 1. Number 2, top 2. Really, this should be just about top 2. Top 1, it's going to be Guns N' Roses. That's it. That's it for me. That could have been the short of this. Could have had a 1-minute episode just by saying that. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. I don't know if Benjamin will be back next week. I forgot to ask him. But either way, I know I'll still be here on Saturday morning. Samoflange.
My